Said yes in the city of love. Okay, that headline. It just exploded across social media, and you can tell it was, like, perfectly engineered for maximum impact.
Totally cinematic.
Right. Aurora Culpo, she's built this whole brand on being unfiltered, especially about her, well, let's say, dramatic relationship history.
Mhm.
And now she announces her engagement to this guy known only as Zach after this super public whirlwind Paris proposal.
But here's the thing that makes you go, right? The announcement itself, huge, very public.
Yeah, pictures everywhere.
But the fiancé, Zach, he's being kept intensely private, like almost aggressively so. It's a real contrast.
So that's the puzzle we're looking at. Welcome to the deep dive.
Hi, everyone. So we've gathered, a whole stack of sources, tabloid stuff, Aurora's own comments, family statements, the whole picture.
Right.
And we're not just here to, pop the champagne for the engagement. We're really digging into the strategy behind it.
Ah, the strategy. Okay.
Yeah, this proposal, it feels like much more than just a happy milestone. It feels like a very deliberate, strategic narrative reset. Especially for someone who's been so publicly vulnerable.
Okay, so our mission today, basically, is to figure out why keeping Zach anonymous is maybe the most significant part of this whole new chapter.
Exactly. Why is that the key variable?
We need to unpack the lessons from her past relationships, the messy ones, and the consequences of that whole unfiltered brand she built.
And how she might be using her, professional background now to control the story.
Right, her background and analysis. Okay, let's dive into this pivot. It feels crucial.
Let's do it.
So, the engagement announcement, October 1st, 2025, it wasn't just a casual post. The sources make it clear this was meticulously planned.
Oh, definitely. Every detail seems curated to tell a very specific story, right from that first image.
Yeah, the imagery itself. It's like a masterclass in aspirational romance, isn't it?
Totally. They started with that classic daytime proposal, lush park in Paris, super traditional.
Right, sets a wholesome tone immediately.
Exactly. It visually screams timeless commitment, stability, which is, a stark contrast to some of the previous relationship drama we saw.
And they made sure to get those, candid embrace shots right after.
Yeah, vital for her brand, right, to show that authenticity, that real joy.
Yeah.
Her audience connects with that emotional reality.
But then there's the celebration part. That felt like another strategic layer.
Absolutely. The sunset boat ride on the Seine, the champagne, the diamond reveal, and that final shot, the silhouette, against the sparkling Eiffel Tower.
Iconic.
Totally iconic. By choosing Paris, the city of love, they're anchoring their story in this, universal fantasy of romance.
So they're proactively framing it as stable, aspirational, basically uncontroversial from the get-go.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And the timing, that's interesting too, according to the sources.
What about the timing?
Well, this happened just 2 days after they were at a wedding in Tuscany. Remember her posts? Captions like, "Here for the amour."
Oh, right. So that theme of, lifelong European commitment was already kind of in the air.
Exactly. It builds his sequence.
Yeah.
So after a time where her love life felt really volatile in public,
Yeah.
this Paris fairy tale isn't just celebrating the love. It's like a powerful, hard reset,
Okay, a hard reset. So she's seizing control of the narrative, before anyone else can spin it.
That's what it looks like. Launching the relationship with universally positive imagery, making sure that first impression is just success, undeniable happiness.
Okay, before we get too deep into the privacy thing, we really need to understand Aurora herself, beyond just being one of the Culpo sisters.
That's absolutely crucial because her background suggests she's maybe more calculated than just, accidentally candid.
What do you mean?
Well, she has a master's degree, right, in teaching from Fairfield University. And her focus was behavior analysis and special education.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that specific. Behavior analysis.
Yeah, and it's not just some random fact. She's apparently said she uses those skills to, and this is a quote, dig deep into what makes people tick for her content.
Huh. So she's not just an influencer sharing her diary. She's potentially applying principles of behavior like stimulus, response, reinforcement to her public persona.
It seems plausible, right? Her platform, the Barely Filtered podcast, that's where she built her brand on radical candor.
Right. The openness about postpartum depression, the messy divorce details, dating as a single mom to her 2 kids, Remy and Soleil.
Exactly. That candor is what built the connection with her audience. Motherhood, wanting stability, those are the emotional anchors.
But here's the paradox, isn't it? That super unfiltered approach, the one solidified by the TLC show.
Yeah.
It's her biggest asset for building trust, but it's also her biggest liability because it invites all this uncontrollable public intrusion.
Precisely. The vulnerability works. It connects.
Yeah.
But if you look at it through that behavior analysis lens she supposedly uses, constantly exposing her romantic life might have become like a negative reinforcement loop. The more she shared, the more drama the public and media created.
And the Paul Vernon affair was the peak of that negative consequence.
That seems like the painful lesson.
Yeah.
The culmination of that liability.
So are you suggesting the whole unfiltered brand was maybe a calculated strategy initially to build trust, and now she's strategically evolving it?
Well, the sources could point that way. Does the material suggest she's shifting from, like, trust through total exposure to something more like analytical, protective withholding?
That's the question.
It feels like she might be using her analytical skills now to withhold the key information. Zach's details, his job, his family, the stuff that previously triggered the huge negative reaction.
Removing the stimulus.
Kind of. It's an evolution, maybe, from transparency as the content to using privacy as a controlled shield against a predictable audience and media behavior, managing expectations by limiting the info.
Okay, so this calculated strategy didn't come out of nowhere. Her journey to this engagement was definitely paved with some very public, very dramatic lessons.
Oh, yeah. Let's quickly recap the two big relationships that seem to have led here.
First, the marriage and divorce, right, 2019 to 2022, with Mikey Bortone, the survivor guy.
Right. And the key lesson there, which played out on the Culpo sisters show, seemed to be about the danger of televising your internal relationship problems.
The whole hall pass thing.
Exactly. That got widely criticized, and she later admitted, it didn't work for me. Big surprise.
So lesson one, don't televise the internal mess. But the next relationship taught her about external pressure, right?
Bingo. That would be the, explosive rebound. The really short, 2-month romance in mid-2024 with Paul Vernon, the film producer.
And that immediately threw her into intense tabloid focus, mostly because he just split from Bethany Frankel.
Yeah, the baggage was immediate and high profile. The pressure was huge from day one.
Frankel even commented publicly on them, didn't she? And then she actually broke the news of their split on her own podcast.
Exactly. Which put Aurora totally on the back foot, reactive, not where a content creator wants to be.
And the breaking point, that seemed to happen around Olivia Culpo's wedding stuff.
Yeah, June 2024. It was like this perfect storm. The clash between Vernon meeting privacy and the Culpo family's very public brand just erupted.
Olivia's comment was brutal.
Super blunt. Refusing to invite him because it would be rude to invite somebody I've never met. That basically showed the relationship couldn't handle the media heat combined with, internal family dynamics.
So after that imploded, Aurora did her usual thing, the public autopsy on her podcast.
True to form. Acknowledged the issues, right? He does not want any more kids. I do probably want more kids. Admitted it moved too much too soon.
Yeah.
But what was the big takeaway? It wasn't just bitterness. She framed it with this, determined optimism. Saying something like, I think if you think that love doesn't exist, then that's exactly what's going to happen for you.
Okay, so she kept the positive mindset.
Right. That gave her the psychological resilience. But the public drama itself, that provided the strategic blueprint for protection. Bortone taught her about televised conflict. Vernon taught her about the destructive power of external forces taking control of her story.
Which brings us right back to the core issue, Zach. I mean, in an industry where basically every part of your private life is supposed to be content.
Yeah, monetizable content.
Right. The deliberate, almost aggressive anonymity of her fiancé is the story here. Just Zach. First name only.
And what's so fascinating is, like you said, that lack of information. That seems to be the solution itself. It's the direct application of the lesson from the Vernon mess.
She'd said before she wanted to keep guys anonymous, right?
Yeah.
But didn't manage it.
Exactly. She stated that preference, but couldn't maintain the boundary. With Zach, it looks like she's successfully enforcing it, almost like a professional requirement now.
But wait, isn't there a risk? Doesn't this level of secrecy right after such a big public announcement just create a bigger mystery for the tabloids? Isn't she kind of daring them to dig?
That's a really fair point. It could backfire. But she's controlling the starting point,
How so?
By giving them so few data points, no last name, no job, no backstory, she severely limits how outsiders can define Zach or the relationship on their terms.
Restricting the narrative ammunition.
Pretty much. She's actively trying to insulate them from those external pressures that a new relationship may not be strong enough to withstand. It's like strategic minimalism.
This choice also feels like a bit of a quiet rebellion, doesn't it? Against that standard influencer model where relationships have to become couple content.
Totally. That model assumes monetization is the goal. By keeping Zach private, she's signaling pretty clearly that the relationship's health and maybe sanctity come before its commercial potential.
So her brand is maturing from just complete exposure to maybe curated vulnerability.
That's a great way to put it. Sharing the emotional truth, the happiness, the ring, Paris, but protecting the source material, the person himself. It's actually a pretty sophisticated use of her platform to set boundaries.
Okay, and the final piece of this puzzle seems to be the family reaction, especially given how they operate as a unit.
Yes, the unified family support is critical. Remember Olivia calling Vernon a potential flavor of the month?
Yeah, ouch.
The tone now is completely different, 180 degrees.
So that unified front, it suggests Zach has passed some kind of like implicit brand audit.
Huh, a brand audit, I like that. Yeah, Olivia's instant, super effusive Instagram comment, H, and her story saying, our family is growing. That's not just personal excitement.
It's a public endorsement.
Exactly. It's a statement of inclusion to their millions of collective followers. The Culpo family brand needs stability, aspirational success.
So a new partner has to fit that narrative.
Right. And Zach, partly because of his anonymity
Yeah.
and the resulting family welcome, gets instantly framed as a valuable and stable asset. Someone who gets it, respects the boundaries. #tag outro. So, wrapping up this deep dive, Aurora Culpo's engagement, it really feels like one of the more compelling strategic moves we've seen from an influencer lately.
Yeah, it's more than just a ring pick.
Definitely. It feels like a profound act of narrative reclamation. It shows her brand maturing beyond just total raw candor.
She's proving you can share the emotion without sacrificing everything.
Exactly. That it's possible to share emotional truth, maintain that connection, but still keep vital, professional, and frankly, private boundaries intact. Curated vulnerability, not complete exposure.
We've certainly seen the price tag on a fully public romance play out for her before. Now she seems to be treating her love with Zach as something maybe too sacred to become content. So for you, the listener, it makes you think, right? In this world that constantly demands transparency from public figures, what's the ultimate luxury? Is it sharing absolutely everything? Or is it having the power, the ability to keep something truly precious just for yourself?
A tough question in today's climate.
You've been listening to The Deep Dive, where we dig into the stories and strategies shaping the current moment. Thanks so much for tuning in.
We'll catch you next time.